I want to talk about kind of a longer time horizon. So obviously part of the reason that we started working together early on was, you started to see like, oh, hey, the social media thing, like some of these brands are really winning using it in like a meaningful way, and particularly influencers within that landscape. So talk to me a little bit about that evolution. Like how have you seen from, call it 10 years ago when social media was really just getting started to today, the role that social media has played for these larger organizations, how that shifted. And then also, if you've seen particular companies do it really well, like who are some of those companies that you've noticed?
Yeah, so the proliferation of social media to me has been one of the phenomenons that I think I'm going to be thinking about over my lifetime, because it provides not only an avenue for connectivity and community building, but it also can create some really unfortunate circumstances in these environments. So I think, taking the good, the role of the influencer, the role of the brand voice, the storyteller, I don't think has ever been more prolific. And I do think consumers are telling us that they trust influencers in some cases more than they trust their own friends. So that's pretty wild.
Yep.
I think with more disclosure and transparency around ads, you're starting to see some shifting in that. And I think new platforms are also rising up. What we hear a lot about things like TikTok is that it is as pure and authentic as it can be in social media, versus some of the other platforms might be a little bit more ad heavy. So the consumer is starting to figure out, what platforms to use for what. And it's almost like a portfolio of platforms now in social media. And I think brands approach it very similarly. One thing I will say, though, is that when we go back and look at the evolution of how brands invest behind these platforms, there was a lot of investment behind visualization. So how do you tell something about your brand in an image, which was kind of the baseline for Instagram? And then how do you start converting that into stories and video? How do you leverage YouTube for education and brand establishment? So it's interesting just to see again how different platform features are being used in different ways. And I do think maybe over the course of the next few years, you're going to see the best features from all the platforms are going to start to become the common features across all the platforms, because every platform is chasing each other now. And YouTube just launched the equivalence of stories as well. So
yep.
If you think there's homogenization of platform features, and maybe that means there's going to be either consolidation or some of those platforms just don't make it long term. But that's interesting to see that we've gone from very disparate portfolio of platform strategy to kind of homogenization of the basic key features based on whatever is working best on each platform. The other thing, though, I think that's changing a bit more too, is as we kind of roll into the next generation, social media is very Web 2.0, and we start thinking about Web 3, we start really thinking about the role of the creator. And I'm actually really by Web 3. I think it's super interesting to think that brands could partner with their fans to create content about the brand, and those fans can actually be rewarded for it. That's unique. So outside of just becoming an influencer and hashtagging, ad or spawn, there actually can be a way to, through technology, to connect that ledger between action, affiliate, brand, and creator.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, why do people buy stock certificates for the Green Bay Packers, right? It's not because they get any ownership out of it, right? It just like feels like you're a part of it.